Hey people, so I've been asked a few times to talk about poly and BDSM. If I sound a little odd today, my lips are doing a weird thing, so just ignore that. Um, as somebody who is poly, you've heard me talk several times over the past several months about having multiple girls, about having multiple slaves and submissives in my life. Um, and the problem with talking about poly and BDSM is there's not one right way of doing it. It is such a wide swath of concepts that you can't say that, this one's right and this one's wrong and this one's wrong and this one's right. It's impossible to do that, because what it really comes down to is what works for the people involved. Period. That's all it is that it's what works for the people involved. For me, my girls, especially because they're long distance, if they want to play with others, if they want to have other people, if I can't, take care of a necessary need, I have no problem with them playing with others. Where others in my position would be absolutely against that concept. They'd just be like, no, you're mine only, that's it. Even though I can have 4 or 5 girls, you can only be with me, end of statement, period. I don't personally like that, but again, that's a personal preference. Each person who does this, each dominant or submissive who's in this lifestyle, they have to pick and choose what works for them. I mean, I've had relationships in the past, and currently one of them is this, where I have a girl who is married, but her husband is vanilla, but she's not. And the thing about it is, and I've met other couples who were just like this, where the husband is 100% vanilla, 110%, vanilla. If he tries kink, it's kind of like blah. He's monogamous. He does not want to. He's not interested in the concept of meeting other girls and playing with other girls. It's just not his thing. But his wife is very much the opposite. She is somebody who has had boyfriends in the past, who she is kinky. She has been in the life. And he is, to a greater or lesser extent, comfortable with this idea. It is not something that you can label and say, that works, and that works for everybody. It doesn't. I've met other couples where they're both kinky, where, he has other girls and she has other girls. That's another part of this, which just makes it ultra confusing, is, not only is it a straight kind of thing, but then you have bisexual and gay concepts within poly. So it's like you can't sit here and say this is what poly is, because there is no absolutes in this. It's what works for the individuals involved. And once you get past that point, once you get past this is what works for the individuals involved, then you have to move into the realm of now how do you deal with this concept? How do you deal with the idea of the person that you are in a relationship with and possibly even love having multiple partners? How do you get comfortable with this? And the real answer is there is no answer. It's all up to you, all up to how you deal with it. You have to figure out a way in your mind to be comfortable with it. In my situation, with my girls, I know that they do go out and play with others, And there is a slight bit of jealousy. I'm not going to lie about that. And it's not jealousy. And that's, jealousy is a bad word for this. It's more envy. It's envy for the fact that I don't get to be the one to do it. I'm not the one there to do these things for them. Okay? But that's a different situation. If they were here with me, then then they wouldn't be needing to go out and find other people to take care of these needs. But if we were at a club, or we met somebody who did something interesting that I couldn't do, or somebody could do it better than I could, would I be upset if they went and played with those people? No, absolutely not. I'd be like, oh, this guy can do, shibari, and can do this really hardcore bondage. Not my thing, but you know what? He can do an awesome job. Great. And if one of those things is, at the end of it, he gets to fuck you, then I probably would be, wouldn't be 100% okay with that, but I'd be okay enough to let it happen. That's just part and parcel of this. It is, it's getting the comfortability, being okay with this concept. If you care about the person who is your main focus enough, then them having other people in their lives should not be the issue. Okay? For the most part, most of my relationships with my girls is one-on-one. I spend most of my time, probably 75 to 90% of my time, exclusively dealing with them in that frame. But then I can go from 1 minute from having that to me, to a minute later, I'm on another chat with one of my other girls. And for me, that's more of me having to deal with that emotional aspect of, being able to, transition from dealing with the emotional needs, wants, and desires of one human and having to transfer it over to another human. It takes a lot of time, and energy when it comes to doing this stuff. It is not as easy as everybody thinks. It's, oh, you get to have multiple girls. Oh, how great, that's awesome. No. If all they were was just, fuck buddies that I could call up and, when I needed my cock sucked, then that would be a different story. But these are full-on relationships. And that's really what poly is having multiple relationships with multiple people and having to keep track of the emotions necessary to make everybody in these situations happy, because the reality of it is that it is difficult. Poly is not something that, can it be long term? Yes. Is it usually long term? No. Relationships start and stop. It's just part of life. Okay? With this, you have the ability to open up and allow yourself to be who you truly are. I honestly look at my life and is it when I'm in a monogamous relationship, I'm not happy. I don't, because I have this need to, to do the biological urge of going out and having multiple partners. And I just acknowledge, instead of trying to fight it, I enjoy it. So for me, having 4 girls in my life, or 5 girls in my life, or whatever, that makes me happy. I enjoy it. It makes me feel good. And the complexity of having to try to make all these different people happy is enjoyable for me. And this is the main thing about poly and dealing with this idea. You have to be as both, or whatever level you are in this. If you're not happy, why are you doing it? If you cannot be happy, with this concept, then why are you doing it? That's really the long and the short of it. This is not an easy thing. Anything we do in this life is not easy. It's enjoyable. I get a lot out of it. It's just difficult. So, like I said, what you have to do is, when you're dealing with poly, is just find a way to make it work for you. Make it enjoyable for you. If you can't, then go back to being monogamous. It's what the rest of society is doing. That's it. So, I know I have a lot more to say on the subject. I just really don't, I just really feel like I'm rambling at this moment. So, check the links below. do all that stuff YouTube wants. That's it for now. Be well and safe.